we're here, we're continuing our UK tour, and coincidentally enough, standing in front of some Canadian equipment here in the UK. Tom Hawthorne with Flawborough Farms.
Yep.
And thanks for having us over, letting us take a couple hours of your afternoon here. Yeah. Can't wait to see some of the equipment you got going. Yeah. Harvest here has already happened, unfortunately.
Yep.
It's been
it's been early, so it's happened, but
harvest.
Good for me, bad for you.
The content's still going to be good, guys. You're going to want to see this.
So where we sat here at the minute, so this is the nucleus, the middle, Flawborough's the middle. The longest journey we do is about 20 miles. We will go 20 miles sort of to our furthest away block of land we farm, which we farm in-house. The harvesting team on the silage, yes, they'll go 30, 40.
But those are contractors.
Yeah, that's more straight contract from us. It's us doing it, but it's our contract, so we're doing it. But we travel further to other blocks of land. But the stuff which we farm so we're a family-owned farm, and then we contract farm for 13 other farms.
Yes.
And that's dotted around from being literally next door to being 20 odd miles away.
And we have that in common. Yeah. We're on a totally different scale, but we have that that in common because we can't afford to own equipment.
Yeah.
Unless we were to contract ourselves out.
Yeah, of course.
But this fella, speaking of contracting it out, let alone chasing your cruise, he's been running 24 hours a day.
Yeah. So that since Azarian arrived and we started, so harvest was early this year. So we do. Our first harvest is our whole crop cereals. So a bit how you guys will be making your hay and things. We'll go early into a rye crop or a barley crop with a whole crop header on the front of a forage harvester. And we'll chop that. So that we start doing that in June. And then since then it was running single shift through June. And then we got into middle of July when the combine started going. And that was it. We were off then 24 hours.
And that's a 2025 Zerian 4-track.
Yeah,
and it already has 900 hours on it.
It did not. Yeah, it was actually classed as demonstrator last year. So actually, it's done a few more. So it's actually, but we will clock just under 1,000 hours, I think, in this summer, sort of 8 to 10 weeks.
And that's all with the new Joker.
Yeah, new Joker. Then if we do some deeper working, we have a Fortis, which is their like deeper working machine. So that will do that. But generally, yeah, it's like a time thing. We'll see it in the yard, but. That again was a test machine, horse test machine.
We really made him turn sharp there.
Yeah, I'll get over it. It's in the record for one 12-hour shift was 140 hectares.
And how fast is he traveling?
So ranges depends on how rough it is, what sort of job we're trying to do, but you'll range in between 10 to 16 kilometers an hour.
Okay, so. Flawborough Farms, we're not afraid, and we're pretty gracious. My dad works with us as well, and he puts in some long shifts. And that's your dad John in there now.
Yeah, he is. And so he's in there. We don't normally stick him on a tractor, but he gets dragged out when we need him to. And
I think we have that in common too. There's a few things here, just different scales.
No, absolutely. But he's great because to be honest, he's 69 years old, but. He's a very competent, he was was an amazing combine driver, one of the best I've ever come across. So he's into it, still good at it. He just doesn't want to do it all the time, which is great. So,
that's fair.
So he just comes and does a bit when he wants him to. But, it's pretty cushy being sat in there at the moment. It's not hard work. It's good going. It
still has the new tractor smell.
Still has a new tractor smell, even after 900 hours of double shifts.
I guess that depends more on who drives it. And
of course.
Who eats inside it.
Yeah. So we've ran Unimog for years. So our first Unimog was in late 70s, probably 1979, 1980. And we used to have a crop sprayer on the back of it. So that's what we would use historically. It'd be a lot smaller, 100 horsepower. Yeah. But when you were comparing a Unimog to a tractor back in the 1970s, it was like chalk and cheese, So you had a Massey 590 type tractor, 90 horsepower, very basic, with basically a tractor with a cab on it, compared to a Unimog which did 50 miles an hour, fully suspended.
Yes.
It was a serious bit of kit.
And obviously even front PTOs and all that other stuff.
Exactly. But whereas what's happened now is obviously the likes of Fast Track, Fence have all caught up with like quite sophisticated, high output forward speed road tractors, really, or like that type of principle. So actually a Unimog still works for us because we use it as a tool carrier. So we can see we have the drill filler on the back of it now when we're not using it for, so we would call it a drill filler, you guys call it a seeder, or a tender for a seeder. We would take that off and then we have a tank on the back and we pre-mix our chemicals for the crop sprayers as well. So we will.
So it's a multi-purpose tender.
Yeah. And then when we take that off, it then pulls a trailer in the summer.
See, that's one thing that's so different. In North America, we have it seems to be the trend. One thing does one thing.
Yeah.
And there's multiple of those one thing. But you guys,
these are relatively expensive, but equally, we'll do just under 1,000 hours a year with it. We'll keep it for 10 years, so we'll done 10,000 hours by the time we've got rid of it. I think when it was new in 2019 was 140,000, say, so they're quite expensive. But when I come and sell that for 10,000 hours on in 10 years, it'll be worth over 100 grand, 120 probably. Something around there, because they don't depreciate at all, and they'll just go into the woods. They'll get bought by someone and just go into the woods.
Really?
Yeah. So, and the interesting thing as well also is that they have tyre inflation on.
Nice.
Yeah. So we
like the new fast track.
Yeah, exactly that one. So we've had tyre inflation on Unimogs for 20 years. So we use it on the road, and those tyres are blown up to 50, 60 psi. But we get to the field, we press a button. It drops the air down, and then actually here we're filling up in the field gateway.
Yes.
But actually this will go to the drill, so to the seeder. So it will go down the tram lines and it'll go and find the drill. So rather than dragging your big drill all the way out, we will bring this take that to the seeder. The same goes
to
the
drill
where it is.
Seeding.
Yeah, and particularly if it has to fold up to try and get to the seed where the seed is. What a pain.
We came down how many driveways to get to this field?
Yeah, 100%.
Bring the Unimog right to the drill.
And then at the moment, because we've got a poorly sprinter, but generally when we're running with two drills, we try and run the same drills on the same crop locally to each other, and this will look after both of them. So we look after. It's got enough capacity to look after two 12-meter drills.
Two 12-meter avatars or two 12-meter sprinters, whatever. You'll keep two 12-meter machines running with one Unimog.
And bearing in mind that when we're drilling late, so we plant quite a lot of seed rate. So it's not unusual for us to plant 250 kilos a hectare of seed. The avatar, when it's going fast at high seed rates, basically needs 3 tons of seed every hour. What we call is a one-shot system. So it comes with its 3 tons of seed.
Yes.
If we need fertilizer, this is the fertilizer in here.
Yes, I see you have a liquid tank on that fence.
Yeah. And then it will deliver whatever we need for that side, and then it will go back, fill up, and then go and then fill up and go and do the other drill. The reason we do it is, well, obviously in the UK, most of our seed, even if it's cleaned on farm, is put back into a ton bag.
Yes.
But they're really, I hate them. I nearly got killed by one when we had them with the forklifts above the drills.
Yes.
One nearly fell on top of me. I hated the fact that we were doing that by yourself, individually in the middle of nowhere. And if it fell on top of you, you would never know that person was dead until someone turned up. So the beauty of this is you go back to a yard on concrete, no wind, and it's controlled. So there's normally other people around. So even if we empty bags into this, we're not doing it on an even ground. And when it's been picked up and 100%.
Ground,
And also, we do occasionally do quite a bit of seed in bulk, so we'll load from a bucket into there as well.
Yes.
So we don't need to even worry about it from that side. But basically, what it was originally was a gritter for gritting salt in the roads.
Yes.
And then we basically extended the sides. We had a company make the tank on the side, which is 2,700 litres. And then the beauty of the Unimog is you can control it all from inside and outside. So we can fold the...
And it just has a PTO running, so it's just
so it runs. It's got a mid-mounted PTO.
I wish we had...
Yeah.
So that's a 12-inch auger?
It's a 12-inch auger. Yeah, it's actually off a horse drill.
Repurposed.
Yeah, which we bodged onto it. And then we can do the revs as well. And then we just turn the auger on and off there.
So what's coming out of the rubber line?
So that's the fertilizer, because that goes up there. Rather than trying to put the pipe on the tank. So when Ben, as an example, is filling the drill up, he stood up there with the pipes. So we actually fill that front tank from up there.
So you're filling the tractor with the starter fertilizer
at the same time
as you fill up at the same time, and all he has to do
7 minutes.
7 minutes, and all he has to do is make that connection to the second pipe.
Yeah.
With a banjo fitting.
Yeah. And then at that time, if we want to place any micro granules or any slug pellets, we load the front hopper on the Avatar. So the Avatar's got 3 hoppers, the 2 main hoppers and the front hopper. We'll load that, and the Unimog driver will do that out the front box and just tip that in whilst that's filling up. And then it's a belt in the floor, so it's belted out. So it's got a conveyor in the floor, like to a hopper. Falls
so it's nice and gentle on the seat.
Yep.
Falling, not augering.
Yeah, it falls into there and then it's augered up.
So the only opportunity with you guys running bags and bulk with shovels, the only opportunity for you to have seed damage is during the cleaning process.
Yeah. And that
it'll get caught. It will likely get caught in that process, but this auger.
Yeah.
So the only time seed that is going into the ground could be damaged by an auger is in this 14 feet.
Yeah. And then when we make generation 2, at some point will come, that will be a belted auger.
Zero opportunity for seed damage.
Yeah.
And then with us, it's auger. From the time seed comes out the auger, we won't count the combine auger.
Yeah.
But from the time that it is in a grain cart, it's probably handled 6 to 8 times with mechanical augers.
Yeah. No, in the cleaning process, there might be one auger, I think, but other than that, and it's a very gentle auger because it's on a cleaning plant, proper. You know, we take our seed.
Plastic flighting.
Yeah, we take our seed to a specialist place to have it done. So we don't do it on farm particularly because we haven't got time. So we just fill a truck up and take it up there, and it gets delivered back in bags. We haven't got time for people to sit there and clean seed, so we fill a lorry up and take it away, and that gets cleaned overnight, and then the next morning they'll bring it back.
The quality of the seed is just it's maintained through the entire process.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Can you call me when you're getting rid of this, and I will find a way to import it?
Yeah, of course.
Can you?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, of course.
Can we look at the drill real quick?
Of course we can.
This is essentially what we have access to as far as avatars in North America. Yeah. And they're gaining popularity like crazy. But we bought the European version, which is also the dual gang.
Yeah, of course.
But you guys obviously have liquid carried on the front of the fent.
Yep.
And coming through individual lines.
Yeah, it comes with 2 individual lines. So it still works only on a 6-meter section because the seed works on 6-meter sections on this. But it comes into the manifolds here. And it's a hybrid system, so we had it initially where another company put a lot of it on, and then Horsch got involved and went, "Ooh, okay, we're quite keen to be involved in this project," and then they've given us different seed tubes and various things as well.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking at we're running the firming wheels right now, and you're running the tab.
We use the
because of the wet.
Yeah, 100%.
So the wet, in wet conditions, the rolling firming wheels.
That firming wheel is awful in the wet. On a clay soil.
On our Avatar, we've always wondered, like when we bought our drill's 2 years old now. We bought it and we have the tabs too, but we've never used them because we're typically dry. But do you guys convert back and forth?
So no, we'll stay on it. So the only thing we'll get with this, we might see it when it's working in a minute, is we'll get a little bit of seed flick where by having a tab rather than a firming wheel, where the disc will pull out the seed as it's going round slightly, so you'll see a little bit.
But your soil's quite sticky too.
Yeah, well, this is dry for us, but yeah,
I can feel it. Just
no, it's sticky. We'll see when it's working. We'll get a little bit. It's peanuts in the scheme of things.
Yes,
but you do see it, and a wheel will be better. It's almost like a catch wheel. It would catch it better from that side, but the tab is way more reliable when it comes to being wet.
Very cool. So, sorry, I didn't notice. Is that a 924?
No, 728.
Well, it's going to be very well ballisted with the extra weight out front.
Yeah,
and how does that handle the 40 foot?
Fine.
Or 12 meter.
If we get it on some really, if we use it direct in some really steep hills, it will be all it would ever need.
We're holding up the party here.
Yeah, we better let them
We should let them run.
Yeah.
Okay, so we understand the yield and the timelines of this season in 2025 have been completely upside down.
Yep.
Commodity prices are low.
Yeah.
But yield perspective.
Yeah. So yield perspective, we've had in 3 generations had our worst harvest we've ever had.
2025 is the worst in 3 generations.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That is
something has to be at the bottom. You always have something at the bottom. But,
yes, you're talking generations.
Yeah.
And this one just happened to land in yours.
Yeah. Awful. Absolutely diabolically bad. And historically, you see, so 76 was equally not far off being as bad a harvest as we would ever expect. Awful harvest. The difference being is we were a domestic market then for our wheat. So soon as the UK was looking like it was having a bad harvest, the price went for the roof. Whereas at the moment, because we're a world market and it's too easy, not too easy, it's easy to bring wheat in from other parts of the world,
the UK's 1% of the world's wheat production, 1%. So it doesn't a poor harvest in, let alone Flawborough, but poor harvest in the whole of the UK doesn't even bat an eyelid. So therefore, it doesn't affect the price. So our prices are still very low. They're 100. I think November futures are 168 quid, 166 pounds at the moment. So really, really low. It could do with being 20 to 30 pounds a ton more to get you the right side of the line from a cost production point of view.
Yes.
And when you have a low yield like we've had, that's So we've made the biggest loss we've ever made certainly in my time. We had pigs at one point where I think that was a lot of money has been historically lost in pigs. But prior to that, arably, the biggest loss ever. It's just but
sorry to hear that.
It's life, isn't it? It's farming.
It is farming, and you'll do it again next year.
You also have to remember this. This is quite an interesting point. Whether you agree on it or don't agree on it, but it puts it into perspective. So, if I was farming we farm 8,000 acres as a total business now, just over.
Yes.
So, if we were farming that area, pretty much 7 years ago, there would be not quite, but there between 600 and 800,000 pounds more money floating around in that pot for me and my landowners through government support or subsidy, basically. So we're missing, compared to what we had 6 years ago. If we didn't farm that area back in that day, we were smaller. Yes. But if we did, there's between 600 and 800,000 pounds worth of cash missing just out of that arable year. So that's just a bit. So, and I don't like subsidies in the non-linked part as they are.
That's right.
But the reason they exist is for what's just happened.
Well, I know we don't see many of these half-track units. Everything's usually quad track or large tires with duals or just a large front wheel assist. So I don't know if I've seen one of these in the field other than just in trade show and showroom settings. This is first time, I guess, to see one dirty. Well, I think they definitely have enough horsepower behind a 12-meter Sprinter. That's hilarious. That's awesome, though. If you got it, use it. How do you troubleshoot? Like, you guys have such little windows to do stuff here. At what point?
Buying your machinery from the manufacturer and the dealer who'll support you the most.
Yeah. So historically, Class have had very good support.
Yeah,
hopefully we can as well.
So we're a good Class customer, right? So we've got two Lexions, two Jags, two high horsepower Class tractors, and it all stems from the first Lexion we had in 2002, 2001.
So between Claas and Horse, you're buying the tractors where you get the equipment where you get the best.
So basically, we have the Claas combine. The support is amazing, so therefore we keep buying Claas combines. We've got bigger with their support and everything else we do it. And I've never been let down yet by my Claas dealer ever since 2002. Ever, never once. And Claas UK have never let me down. So Horsch from the recent times have gone within the Claas dealership. So therefore that's brilliant for me. I had an amazing relationship with Horsch way before they were anything to do with Claas dealerships. But the backup I get is very, very good. It's great. And therefore a lot of the technicians we use for the Claas stuff are the same technicians we're using for the Horsch stuff.
That's convenient, that's efficient.
So but we're very fortunate. In our little country that Horsch UK isn't that far away. Yes. But B, also, we have such a good relationship with Horsch, probably different to most because we've used them for such a long time and we have test machines and various things. So our contact we have with the likes of John and also the Horsch family and the factory is one-to-one. So therefore, we're very fortunate that we can, if there's an issue, I send an email to someone in Germany and it speeds up the fix considerably quicker than it would do, I think, if we were going via a normal dealership somewhere else.
Your email or concern might not ever get out of your local store. No. It may never go higher than that.
We're very fortunate, but we probably get more headache than most because we run a lot of test machines and pre-series machines. So therefore,
it's going to be natural.
It works both ways. We know by having a pre-series or test machine, it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be stuff on it we don't like. But the following harrow on that was down to us saying to the factory, look, this needs a following harrow on it. End of. Philip agreed, and eventually, before we knew it, they'd sent us one across, and we put it on last year, and that worked fine, and it works great. But we're lucky that we have the relationship with that. So when we have a situation we've got at the moment, we've got the best people here we could have to fix it.
But for the general farmer that may not have the same connections as you, you do get faith buying a drill like that that it's gone through people like your hands before it's gone fully to market?
It's fair to say the UK is a really important market for horse. A lot of development on product has been done in the UK. Working with these guys with their old 12-minute sprinters, all sorts of things. You know, about 80% of our business, I think, is now done through Class Dealer Network. Again, there's a reason for that.
Yes.
Because quality product, it all works together well, you know, and build these relationships. As Tom has already said, he does have a very strong relationship with the company. Not everyone's going to have that, but as he said, here's more problems.
Yes, but
a lot of people who buy a more run-on-the-wheel machine will still. John's phone will go all day. It's not like no other customer gets direct access to horse people. We work very closely in the dealers, so most of my techs will give their numbers out, you know, to the customers. They'll still get the calls. How do I do this? How do I do that? There is costs a lot of money to have a lot of people, but hopefully the trajectory is good support. That's the idea. So.
Well, and the trust. The people that don't have the connections still have the trust of the connections, and that's been verified. It's gone through its paces. You guys have backed it up with support. Because there's been times we deal direct with our horse reps, or our horse reps come and see how we're doing.
It's pretty common.
That doesn't happen with all brands.
No, we big focus on it in the UK. We've got
there's big focus on it in Canada.
One dealer has 3 bodies from us. There's 4 people that work, but 3 labour units paid for by horse in one dealer. They got about 6 sites.
Yes.
From sales support and tech support for all the products. It's a big investment, but it has to be. These products are technical.
So the reason I wanted to touch on it is because it's humbling to see a machine down, but it's
real.
Being fixed.
It's real.
It's real. It's real farming.
This is real.
Yeah. Stuff breaks, and particularly stuff which is in the beginning of its development. It's going to have niggles, isn't it? But it's So
it's pretty cool to all see all your big new shiny equipment, all the other equipment we've seen on our UK tour here.
Yeah.
But things happen, and it doesn't matter what color it is. But
the reason this is broken at the moment isn't because they changed the design of how it supplies its oil to itself, so it's now power on demand rather than just being constant pump for a spool. It works for your power on demand.
Yes.
So you just plug it in, but because it now works on power on demand, it's brought up another issue somewhere which wasn't expected to be an issue.
Yes.
So whatever that is, which is what they're trying to sort out now. But
yes.
Power, I can see why it wants to be power. It'd be better to be on power and on demand, you know, on power and beyond. But it's obviously found a teething issue, and they're now trying to sort it out.
And they'll get to the bottom of it. There's a few hours of daylight left. So
yeah. No, it's fine.
So you guys have several sprayers on the farm, obviously trailed and self-propelled. Mm-hmm. One thing as cool as the sprayer is the automatic or controllable tire pressure that you guys have. Yeah. And I've seen it on your Unimogs, but you have it even on your trailed sprayers.
My new rule is anything which does anything of any excitement in a field will have CTI on it, tire inflation now. Going from us. Obviously, we've got some really expensive Michelin tyres there. Those Michelin tyres are actually also designed to work with CTI, so central tyre inflation. So to get the best out of those tyres, CTI is required. So we can basically not have a compromised pressure between road and field.
Yes. And we were just learning about that at the JCB 6000 series launch because they were talking about certain tire designs utilizing the center bead versus 3 lugs with variable pressure. So
the Unimog's been using it for 20 years.
And now that technology is in fast tracks and other equipment. It's all over the place here, but compaction and the concern for compaction is a lot greater here. It seems like in Europe than it is back home. Obviously, we still need to have sprayers, much like you guys need to have sprayers. I was told from a good friend to ask a European farmer about blackgrass.
Yeah, good old blackgrass.
We all know what it is. It's a terribly invasive,
highly resistant
grass weed. And if you could summarize one thing about blackgrass and maybe herbicide control, what would you say?
Well, the interesting thing about blackgrass is everything I have to do to manage my blackgrass completely contradicts everything I have to do to try and grow a high yielding big crop. So as an example, it alters my planting dates, it alters the crop I'm going to grow in that field, because if you've got a huge blackgrass pressure, you struggle to grow a winter crop in that field. So a crop we plant our side, the sort of September side of Christmas.
And then also, I know I have to plant it late. Generally, it can be therefore it can be wet. So therefore, my wheat can end up being not so good. It can be perfectly fine, but it can end up being not so good from that side. So it does absolutely contradict everything you do compared to growing a decent high yielding. Let's use winter wheat as an example. And then your attention to you're one bad decision away from getting it completely wrong, and either going back to where you were for the previous 10 years of trying to get it better, or even generationally get it wrong, where you ruin that field then for the next generation because of black grass pressure.
So okay, that we need to pause on that. Generationally, compromise a farm or some acres by a bad decision.
Yeah, one bad decision quite regularly.
And you're saying on the minimum side of that, you're going to be having a problem for a 10-year. That'd be a good scenario.
So once you've got black grass in a field, depending on how much you've let that run, you can keep on top of it relatively happily if you do some good. If you get your decisions right and you do the right thing, you can keep it where it's an underlying problem. But if you do something to get it wrong, one decision normally, because you've kept a crop because it had a bit of black grass in it when you ought to have got rid of it, particularly when it's early on in its life, so therefore you hadn't spent too much on it, that generally can mean that if you've kept it and when you shouldn't have kept it, that field then is in an issue now for probably a generation.
A generational problem.
And we've lost chemical control. So black grass, we can't do any useful chemical control when that black grass is in a crop. So the only chemical control we can do with it is glyphosate out of a crop, obviously. So therefore, everything else is what we would call just generic old-fashioned farming practices of rotation, drilling dates, cultivation, maybe inter-row cultivation. We've tried it, doesn't seem to work very well somehow. That sort of principle.
Thanks, Tom, for showing us around. That's been great.
Pleasure.
Great to finally meet you. We know you. We know it's creepy. Like, we know people on the other side of the world through social media and content and some of your early adapting techniques.
No. Well, you're more than welcome.
So it's nice to finally put a face on the name. See your farm.
Yeah, and actually farming as well. It's not raining, which is
apparently it rains a lot here.
But yeah, it has. But the last 6 months, it's barely rained. It's just
And
evil.
That was kind of the icing on the cake too. Not only seeing the Avatar working over here, which we're Avatar fans, but a seed tendering system. That my mind is spinning. When you go to sell that, please let me know. But our audience is dying to know. We're in Nottingham.
We are, yeah. So you are in nearly pretty much the sort of northern part of Nottinghamshire, but more importantly, sort of the other side of that wood over there is basically Sherwood Forest. So yeah, you are basically Robin Hood country.
We're in Robin Hood country. That is amazing. With a horse avatar, with Flawborough Farms. Thanks for having us.
Pleasure.
Where's Robin Hood?
In the trees.